Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Songwriter Show, right here on Reality Radio 101. I'm your host, Sarantos. I'm a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are so important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show for you every single Tuesday evening. I believe that every song is a story. Tonight, I'm so happy to have on the show Mike Shannon from the Big Buzz Stream. Founded by Mike Shannon, the band's raw and powerful album laments what his country has become and the polarizing attitudes that have seen conflict and hate increase. The album, American, dropped June 27. American creates hypnotic melodies and inspirational lyrics, exploring the country's polarizing attitudes and asks, what's happened to being just American?
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Mike. How you doing?
Doing well. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, man. So tell us a little bit about your band.
Big Buzz Stream grew out of really, I guess, the first band professionally, which was Fourth Ward, the number 4 TH Ward. And we were doing basically rock, I guess at that time, post-punk alternative rock, and, threw in a bunch of covers and played all over the place. We did a lot of at that time, which was the, believe it or not, Camel Cigarettes, like tour and all that stuff. It's hard to even say that, Camel Cigarettes tour. And then that kind of morphed once I was getting into a different type of songwriting. So that really pretty much folded around 2006 when I founded Big Buzz Stream. And I kind of took it slowly in a different direction, which led into, I should say, a series of records starting around 2019 or 20, and where they've been more continuous. And that's really led up to the Big Buzz Stream of today.
Okay. And tell us your role in the band.
Pretty much do it all. I write and co-produce the music and sing lead vocals and play assorted instruments, usually keyboards, percussion, and guitars. And then there are other guitars and other people, on the record. But that's my role in that. But I think of myself as a songwriter.
Okay. Tell us about your songwriting process with you or the band. How do you guys figure out how do you write a song?
I write a song really the way I always have. And I've done co-writing in the past, but I've been writing all the music and lyrics going back to later, I guess the later 2013 or 14, around that period, maybe a little bit later. And I write from a rhythmic standpoint. I was originally a drummer going way, way back, starting out in music. So everything I hear is in rhythm patterns, which is probably as annoying as it sounds. But literally, so like if I were in a larger city taking a subway, I would hear rhythmic patterns. So everything I write is from a rhythmic pattern, and it actually makes it very easy creating the music and producing it that way. Because of that, it's the lyrics that have evolved over time, as a lot of things in this country, as you know, have evolved. But the music has always been from a rhythmic pattern, and that's how I approach it. So whether it's a lyric or whether it's a melody, it has a specific quality to it, and that is a pattern, rhythmic pattern.
Yeah, and that's what music's all about, right? Patterns.
Yeah, I think so.
Tension, release. It's kind of the same thing over and over, and you could do it a lot of different ways, of course.
Sure, yeah, you know that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you or the band have any inspiration, any musicians that really rock your world and you really vibe with?
One of the bands from a studio standpoint, I guess that really caught my attention years ago was Talking Heads.
Okay.
And it was because of the style of writing. And it seemed to be approaching writing from that standpoint of, that rhythmic standpoint that I was referring to. From a live band, I got to tell you, and most people are not going to think of this, one of the live bands that totally blew me away was Cheap Trick.
I love Cheap Trick, man. Yeah, that's very cool.
I mean, oh my God. I mean, talk about a band that's perfected their live act from an entertainment standpoint, song standpoint. I mean, that's just a band that's always blown me away. And that's probably one of the few bands I've actually seen 3 or 4 times over the years.
Okay. How about telling us about this song we're going to hear in a few minutes? What inspired this one?
The country you and I live in. There seems to be a lot of dysfunction going on throughout the country, regardless of political persuasion. So it's that dysfunction and how even the dysfunction was sort of hijacked in this country. So everybody had their own version of what this dysfunctional America was, this divide. And the divide is so, deep. It's like a throwback to the Civil War. So it's really that divide and how the divide has evolved and how it's just created this contempt and hate, that I hadn't seen. And I haven't seen it, actually. I've read about it. No, even in past conflicts in this country, you didn't see that same type of, discourse going on. So that's really what led to this. So American, and it came down to that there's so much divide and so much everybody identifying themselves as as part of that divide, that it just didn't seem to be any connection as to what an America was anymore.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a country that is going through some challenges for a lot of different reasons, and hopefully we can all stick together and get to a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what the tune is about. I'm glad you could actually put it in a shorter answer than I could.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
Let's go ahead and edit and use your answer.
That's right, yeah. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's take a listen, then we'll come back and chat some more, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
Once upon a time there was a stream, and then all the twists and turns, it becomes obscene. It becomes obscene. Comes obscene. What happened to our just American? Seriously, once you list all the colors, religion, politics, gun no gun, shots no shots, what are you left with? Oh, back in the day, when it was all about class, are you a rich man, poor man, da-da-da-da-da-da? Nowadays, we're all put in a box. Oh, we fit so neatly in our box.
Well, thank you for sharing that song with us.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
So, what skills do you have that you think have really been instrumental in your success in music?
Hearing a melody, hearing a melody line, and it's you can go on a Reddit or Cure or whatever, and just like everybody has an opinion of what songwriting is, how you approach songwriting, so on and so forth. And there are things you can teach and some things that are more difficult. And I think one of the things that's more difficult is being able to pick up what could be a successful melody or melody line or a hook. And it doesn't have to be a lyric or the actual music.
Yeah.
It's something that is, specific to both. And like when I write, I can write them individually. Sometimes I write them individually and put them back together, and they fit perfect, lyric and the music. So there's a pattern, and it's that pattern that rhythmic is already a boring term here, but it is that melody, that hook, that I think is something that you either, I'm not saying you're born with it, but I think that's something that you got early on, and it's like that bug that bites you, and you develop it, evolve it over time, like any skill. And I think that's what I've learned.
Sure. Do you feel like you have any advice for people that are just getting into this? Like, what mistakes do you think a lot of people make that are songwriters?
That people are going to just jump on their tune like it's something special, like a lot of people think they are, and certainly in this business too, there are a lot of people that just think they got it and they're special, and they write a song that people are going to be all over, and it's just not the way it works. You need to get it out there and market it and kind of position it. So there are a lot of other aspects to it. So that's part of it, part of the business. But I think the other part would be to write from the heart. So I think when people begin writing, they approach it more carefully because they don't want too much of themselves to come through. I think you need to write from your heart. It doesn't mean that you have to write it so you're preaching to somebody, but you should be writing it so it's ambiguous enough for everybody to be able to pick up on it. But I don't think you need to write for you. You can't write a hit. You need to write what you hear, what you like, what you think is number one, and go with that, and be teachable along the way. But I think you need to start right from the heart and don't lose that.
Yeah, that's great advice, man. So, Mike, if you could do it all over again from the beginning, would you still choose this career?
I was about to say I'd be a plumber.
You get paid a lot more, right?
Yeah. And wait a minute, and then I can start my own business.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to go. No. Yeah, I would choose being a songwriter. It's something that, in my mind, I thought was special and I thought was respectful, and like a writer, like an artist. And even though the business has made it much more difficult to think that, I would still do that. The one thing I would do is but of course, this is in hindsight, and we all know what that is, right? Visually. But I think I would develop my career less with any music business in mind. Music business has gone through so many crooked changes as to where it is today. There's not really a music business. So with that in mind, it makes it much more difficult to make, hey, would you do this again? Yes, I would do the art part. I would do the songwriting part. I would do that. But I probably would approach things different business-wise, because it would be hard to look back and not know how the business has drastically changed. And changed musicians, has changed touring, has changed how people approach the business, how people are afraid to approach the business, how anyone thinks they can approach the business and put something out there. So it's hard to look back and not say what I would do it differently.
Okay. Yeah.
If that, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's no right answer on this show, so it's all good, man.
That's good. We're on a grade's like a bell curve, huh?
That's right.
Like California schools.
What is your favorite jam of all time? And you could pick any decade your heart desires.
Any jam?
Yeah, your favorite song of all time.
Oh, wow. That's like saying if you were going to be an animal in the jungle, which animal would you want? Let's see.
That's the next question.
Oh, awesome. Can I pick two?
Sure, go ahead.
There you go. And solely from a songwriting standpoint, one would be Elvis Costello's All of His Army. The tune he doesn't even like. That's amazing. He didn't even think it's a good song. I think it's his best song. He says he was drunk when he wrote it. He probably should have drank more often. The other tune would be Lennon's Across the Universe.
Tell us about any new things you have coming out for your fans this year.
I'm actually working on an album that halfway through. It's called The Innocent. And it's the theme of it is the world's not black and white, and left behind are the ones that pay, or the innocent. And it really has a lot to do with probably what, we've all been watching on TV and a lot of stuff that's been going on in the world. And so really it has to do with a lot of the ones that are hurt, along the way. And again, it's just, the world is not really black and white. And the term innocence, not black and white, but the ones that suffer are, are the true, in a sense. And that's really what the album deals with. So it's a thematic album. Hopefully that's kind of where it's at right now. And that's what we're working on.
Okay. Tell us about your website. Where can people buy or stream your stuff, your band stuff?
Big Bus Stream. So bigbusstream.com. And Big Bus Stream, just like it sounds.
Got two more questions for you. One of them is, tell us about scams. How can we avoid scams in the music business?
Hard to avoid scams in the music business. I wrote a tune called Everybody, and the tune Everybody, and you would think I would recall which record it's off of, but you can find it on my website. And it's called Everybody, and everybody is all those folks that have come out of the woodwork to not only hit at me for business, but amongst them are a number of scam artists. It's very difficult to avoid scams. And I think more than ever because of the amount of access, which is, a positive and negative thing. And it's just really hard to avoid it. I mean, just got to really, really be careful. And I'm not kidding when I say everybody has come out of the woodwork. And if you're going to write a song about people coming out of the woodwork, then there must be a lot of people coming out of the woodwork. It's just really hard. Just really, really be careful and know that people are going to play off of dreams are a very potent thing. And there are a lot of folks out there that know dreams are a very potent thing. And you're not going to find a potent dream more so than an artist's dream. And so don't lose that dream. Don't let it get diminished by people that are going to try to hack off of it or take a chip out of it. So you got to maintain that, but you have to keep a bit of armor around it so people don't take advantage of it. That would be songwriting advice too, for that matter. But yeah.
Sounds good. So you wake up one day and you have 1,000 emails. How do you decide which ones to answer?
You mean other than answering yours first?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm like a VIP, right?
Yeah, exactly. I usually respond to folks that contact me about my music, and I would still answer those first. And then before I get into the business stuff. So, and there's a way I'm able to separate those as best as possible, because those are more important. And not only that, it's like when you talk about getting into like some scam stuff, when you start to get into business, that's where you're going to see more than that. So maybe it's not the right thing, but yeah, I get to those a little bit after. I do get up with publications in media, and then people that approach me about my music, that like my music or have comments about it, or maybe are like a little pissed off about the recent artwork or the song because they take it a particular way, because I have people that have told me where to put it, because of the tune and the artwork.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was wonderful having you on, Mike.
He didn't even ask me what Big Bus Dream is.
All right. Like I said, the last question of the show, what's Big Bus Dream? Big
Bus Dream is the folks that are tired of riding the little bus and want to get on the big bus. See, that's easy.
All right. That makes sense, actually. All right.
And it leaves them with my band name there. There you go. That's great marketing.
Awesome. All right. I really want to thank you, man. Thank you so much. It was fun.
It's a pleasure chatting with you.
You're welcome, Mike. And thank you to all the fans out there for spending a little bit of your oh so precious time with the two of us tonight. My name is Sarantos. Please join us every single Tuesday evening to hear other amazing artists share their fascinating behind the scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show on Reality Radio 101. I love you all. Have a great night.
Time whispers, I avoid ghosts, and the waves swallow me whole. Not much to be proud of, tossed and battered and lost in the shadows. But you stuck around, your love was profound. You wouldn't let me drown when I broke down. When I stayed on the ground, you stuck around. But ignored all the signs and anchored your heart to mine. Why are you still not over me? Our life is pretty rough and we don't have enough. I'm sorry, this is the life I gave you. You're a rare gem in a sea of stones, and you deserve so much more. So much more. I'm sorry, this is the life I gave you. You're a rare gem in a sea of stones, and you deserve so much more than me. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.